One of the main things that are really present for me is around like really activating my communications in my newsletter. So in the past, I typically send out one newsletter a week, and this year that has just kind of like accidentally gone up to a lot of weeks. I'm sending out two newsletters a week. And after an interview I had with Ross, oh, what was Ross's last name? It was 2 weeks ago. It was a fantastic interview. I'm going to post the link to it in the show notes, but it was around like the always being open, never launching again. Uh, Ross O'Glockland is his name. Anyways, this is a fantastic interview if you're wanting to geek out on some marketing stuff. Um, but he talks about, because he doesn't do social media very much, and he does 3 to 4 newsletters a week to his email list. So he's always capturing conversations with his clients. He's always capturing just thoughts in his journal, and then he turns these into these like nuggets. For me, when I write an article, I'll go into I just had that from yesterday. I'll record myself reading and riffing on the article and make that a video and a podcast, plus send out the article version of it. And that whole workflow of like, after I've written the article, it takes me an hour to record the video, edit the audio, which is basically just adding on the intro and outro for it, creating the description, and then turning that into a newsletter. And so for each newsletter, it's like an hour of work. Um, and so that's one of my workflows. The other workflow is I capture coaching sessions like this. And I will take the video of, say, this rant right now, and then I will turn that into a YouTube video and a podcast episode. And then I'll go into a program called Descript, which is a really cool tool. And you can upload a video or an audio into Descript, and it creates a transcript version of that. And I'll copy and paste that transcript, run it through ChatGPT to edit the transcript into an article version and clean up all the language. And that takes 3 seconds. And all of a sudden, I've got like, from something that I'm showing up to anyways, I've got a new YouTube video and a new audio for my podcast and an article, and all that can go in the newsletter. And that takes a matter of less than an hour as well to do that. So moving forward, I'm trying to do 3 valuable pieces of content, sharing the lessons, sharing coaching sessions, tips, etc. The next step that I'm going to do, I had the name on my whiteboard, but somebody erased it. I don't know who, but there's a program that you can take your videos, so your YouTube video, say you have a 20-minute YouTube video that you post, and it will run it through, and it'll give you 30 social media posts for YouTube Shorts, for Instagram, etc. It'll grab it will the AI tech will just grab like the key 30 points from the conversation or from your coaching session or whatever, and it'll turn it into 30 individual pieces of content that you can start rolling out, so you can be posting 2 3 times a day on, say, YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Insta or Facebook, wherever you do social media, if that's your thing. So this is some of the new workflows for me on growing my audience, but not just growing my audience, like really loving up the audience I already have and making my voice relevant in the people's lives who are already paying attention, and just giving them more reasons to pay attention. And in giving people more reasons to pay attention, it's going to inspire them to eventually probably pay for some service or one of my trainings or courses or whatever at some point in the future. So that's what I'm geeking out on. That's been my focus. And it's been really fun since I made the commitment to be doing, instead of one or two, to be doing 2 or 3 newsletters a week. It's like the muse has been coming full force and giving me all sorts of ideas for things that like I hadn't thought about. Like, yes, today I had a article, video, and podcast episode about the time I almost died falling off a rock meditating. You know, it was like, oh, there's some really great lessons in here that people might enjoy reading about or listening about. So take a moment today and think about, what are some of the stories of your own transformational journey that you may not be telling or may have forgotten about, that could be valuable and that are relevant to the people that are in your audience? Or what are some of like your tips that you have on rhythms, routines, 3-step processes, the 7 mistakes you made that you wish you would have learned. Like these types of things can be really valuable, inspiring, consumable pieces of content that people will be excited to read and excited to learn about you. And it also brings them on that journey with you. And some of the, the stories that you might tell, there might be recent and relevant. There might be current events in the world and your own point of view about it. There might be stories from like way back in the past, or if you want to get really creative, you could tell a fictional story with real life lessons in them. Like there's all sorts of different ways that you can provide value and spark lessons to your audience that are relevant based on the topics that you're teaching. And Vicky, I know you do this a lot with Soul Shop, just like you create stories that help teach the lessons that your programs are teaching. And I know like with Magic Kids, that's all of our stories are opportunities to teach and share. But all of us have stories from our lives, and many of them have probably been forgotten and left behind. And this is just a beautiful way to honor those stories from our past that might have been hardships, that might have been lessons, and that we can then share with our people to inspire them. And since I've been like amping up my newsletter, it's been amazing. I'm getting so many more people reach out and email me being like, that was epic, or thanks for this, or like, I've been on the fence for a long time and I'm signing up for this workshop. It's been really cool just to see the response, because a lot of people have this idea of like, I don't want to bug my audience by like emailing them all the time. But the fact is, treat them like a friend. You want to hear from your friend regularly, right? And so if they don't want to hear from you all the time, they're going to unsubscribe anyways. And it's probably not a fit. But for the people who's like, you get to be that voice inside of their head that's guiding, directing, inspiring, teaching, sharing, showing up as a present being in their life that's constantly offering value to them, they're going to thank you for that. And sometimes that thank you is in the form of money. And that's a wonderful thank you to receive. And end sermon.